Hey, it's Sam from Sugar Spun, and today we are making cranberry orange muffins. This is a recipe that I received a lot of requests for. I honestly did not realize the cranberry orange flavor combo was so popular, but evidently it is. Today we are infusing both these flavors into light, fluffy muffins. I think you're going to absolutely love them. So let's get started by preheating our oven to 425 degrees Fahrenheit. Now let's do a little bit of work with our oranges. You're going to need 2 tablespoons of orange zest for this recipe, so we'll start by zesting them. I usually find I can get 2 tablespoons off of 1 orange. Just like when you are zesting lemons, you do want to make sure you don't go too deep into the orange. All of the flavor is on this rough and bumpy orange exterior. I do have a couple more cranberry orange recipes coming this season. I'm not sure that I will get around to making videos for all of them. I'm gonna try, but we will see. I already have a lot of videos planned. So do make sure you are subscribed to my newsletter. That way you get the email alerts anytime I put out a new recipe, just in case you don't wanna miss any of those. I'll make sure I link to it in the description. See, once you get to that papery layer right there, stop, don't go any further. That's bitter. Just going to put this zest in a dish over here. We don't need it just yet. And we'll go ahead and squeeze our oranges. You will need 1/3 cup of fresh squeezed orange juice for this recipe. I just squeeze mine by hand because I don't have an orange squeezer. And when I try to use my lemon squeezer, I just make a big mess. But maybe you are more sophisticated than I am at home, most likely. So just use an orange juicer. All right, we have our juice, we have our zest. Let's make our muffin batter. So here I have a large mixing bowl, and to this I've already added 1 3/4 cup of all-purpose flour. We'll add 2/3 cup of granulated sugar, 2 tablespoons of cornstarch. I love using cornstarch where appropriate. It's one of the things that's going to make the muffins nice and light and fluffy. We'll add 2 teaspoons of baking powder, 1/2 teaspoon of baking soda. We're also going to add a 1/2 teaspoon of table salt as well. We'll whisk all of these ingredients together until they're nicely combined. All right, let's set this aside. And then you're going to need a separate mixing bowl. This one can be a little bit smaller. And to this, we are going to add 3/4 cup of sour cream. Now, ideally, all of your ingredients would be room temperature for this recipe. So my sour cream has been sitting out for a little bit just to warm it up some. I'm also going to add a 1/2 cup of melted unsalted butter. This is melted, but it's not super hot. This is pretty close to room temperature, just like the sour cream. We're going to add 1 large room temperature egg. And we are going to whisk these ingredients until they are nicely combined. Now, if your butter and sour cream are kind of far apart in temperature, like if your butter's a little too hot, your sour cream's a little bit too cold, this may curdle a little bit. That's fine though. So long as you don't have a super huge temperature disparity, it'll be okay. Now we'll also add our orange juice and our orange zest, and we'll whisk these in as well. All right, let's bring back our dry ingredients. And we will go ahead and just pour all of this right into the dry ingredients. So we're going to gently fold the wet and dry ingredients together until they're about 50% combined. Whenever you're making a quick bread like a muffin, you do not want to overmix it. If you do, you are at a very high risk of ending up with muffins that are too dense, too dry, or crumbly. So be very gentle, and we're just sort of folding the ingredients. Now this is a more dry muffin batter. It's pretty thick. It's that way by design, but it's just all the more reason to be nice and gentle with it. It's very easy to think you're just making a cookie dough and you can just kind of go crazy mixing things together. All right, so once we're about 50% combined, we'll add our cranberries. We add them at this point because, again, if we added them after everything had already been combined, we are already at a super high risk of overmixing our batter. So we'll add 1.5 cups here, and these are fresh cranberries. You can usually find them this time of year in your produce section. They have been washed and rinsed and just picked over. So now I'm just going to continue to gently stir the batter together until the cranberries are nicely distributed and we don't have any pockets of flour remaining. And these already smell amazing. One thing you may have noticed is that I did not use vanilla extract in this recipe. That was intentional. Vanilla extract really bullies the fresh flavor of the orange and just detracts from it. So these turned out much better when I did not use a vanilla extract. Okay, we're looking pretty good. I don't want to go any further. So I have a 12-count muffin tin that I have lined with paper liners. Now I'm going to evenly divide the batter into these muffin liners. I love using an ice cream scoop for this step. It just makes the job a lot easier and tidier. All right, before these go into the oven, I like to sprinkle them with a little bit of granulated sugar, which just gives you sort of that sugared cranberry feel. And now we'll take these over to our 425-degree Fahrenheit oven. They are going to bake in the center rack of that oven for 8 minutes. After 8 minutes has passed, do not open the oven door, but reduce the oven temperature to 350 degrees Fahrenheit, where they'll need to bake for about 8 to 10 minutes, or until a toothpick inserted in the center comes out clean, or with a few moist crumbs. These are looking pretty good. Toothpick says they're finished baking, so we're going to let them cool in their baking tray for about 5 minutes, and then we're going to take a butter knife and carefully remove them from the pan and remove them to a cooling rack where they'll cool completely. A butter knife just makes it easy to gently pry them up and grab them. Be careful because the pan is still very hot and the muffins are hot too. I like to transfer them because it's going to stop them from over baking in the pan, and it's also going to help stop that oily condensation from happening on the bottom of the muffin liner. I know I mentioned how bad it is to overmix a muffin, but over baking a muffin is also terrible for the texture. That will also make them turn out dry or crumbly or bland. So it's best to just check them a little bit early rather than risk over baking them. All right, we're going to let these cool before we go ahead and dig in. But that is how easy it is to make these orange cranberry muffins. As I said, they were highly requested, so I really, really hope you enjoyed this one. If you try it, please leave me a comment. Let me know what you think. I always love hearing from you. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you next time. All right, these are still pretty warm, but I'm gonna go ahead and try one anyway. Look at that. That is a good muffin. Oh my gosh. I never feel weaker than when I'm zesting fruit. My arms are tired. I need a stunt double for this. This does not look like 2 tablespoons.
It doesn't look like you zested the whole arm either.